In this video, we're going to talk about when to use Google versus Google Scholar versus Wikipedia versus the academic database that the library has when you're doing the research for your papers or any of the other work that you're doing while you're in school. So let's start off with Google. We've all used it. It's pretty simple. You type in what you want and you see what the search engine gives you. I'm going to be looking up the topic of women in computing. I read an article recently that said that women are really underrepresented in computer science, and I think that's kind of interesting. So that's what we use for our example in this video. So I'm just going to Google women in computer science, and as you can see, and as you're used to, you get a bunch of different hits in Google. Now what Google does is it just pulls anything from the internet that uses search terms that you give it. It really doesn't filter out anything so that you know whether or not it's credible, if it's a source that you can actually use, whether it's academic or just somebody's blog or a news article. So it really just pulls everything. It's kind of an overwhelming place to start, and I wouldn't just start clicking through the articles, pick the top 5 and use those for your sources, but it is a good way to get a good overview of some of the things that are out there based on your research search terms. Now usually some of the first few hits that you get in Google will be Wikipedia. So how does Wikipedia fit into all of this? Most of you know by now, and you've heard your professor say again and again and again, that you don't want to cite Wikipedia articles in your academic papers because there's no official channel for vetting or assessing the credibility of these articles. However, it's a really good place for you to start in your research, and usually it's one of the first places I start, because if you look at a Wikipedia article, it's fairly short, it's written clearly. For the most part, it's organized into clear headings, so you get a really good general idea about your topic just by looking at the article in Wikipedia. And usually you can pull out some themes or some areas that you're interested in that you can then take a couple steps further in more credible research methods or outlets like Google Scholar or the academic database that the library has. The other cool thing about Wikipedia is if you look at the footnotes that it uses, and you click on them, it'll take you down to the bottom of the page, and it'll highlight the source that the author used. And you can click on the source in a lot of cases, and it'll take you to the original source that the author used when they were writing the Wikipedia article. And a lot of times these sources can be much more credible, and they can be peer-reviewed academic sources that you can use and cite in your research. For example, this is probably an article that you could actually cite in an academic paper because it's from a Computing Research Association. It's a much more credible group than Wikipedia is. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is Google Scholar. Now, to use Google Scholar, you either, or to use Google Scholar to its full potential, I guess you could say, you really need to be connected to the campus network. Now, that means you either have to be on campus and connected to their wireless network, or you need to VPN into the campus network from off campus. And I'll put a link in the at the bottom of the video that'll take you to the website, or take you to the site on Georgia State's website that'll show you how to actually VPN to campus. But what Google Scholar does is it's just like Google, but instead of pulling everything on the internet that has your search terms, it filters them out, or filters the sources out, and only pulls the things that are scholarly, hence the name Google Scholar. So let's use our search term, women and computer science. And the hits that come up in Google Scholar are actually going to be scholarly articles. So for example, if we click on this one, let's see, that was a bad example. Let me grab another one. Alright, this is going to be Google Books. Alright, here's one. It'll actually pull up articles. Full text articles from academic sources, and these you definitely can use in in the papers that you write in your college courses. So a lot of times I use Google Scholar because I find it sometimes easier to navigate to the academic database. It's not as large, and it's just a good place for me to start. For the library's database, that's the next place we're going to look. If you go to the library website and under the Discover tab, you type in your search term. The good thing, or the great thing about the library's database is the library has access to many different academic journals. So you'll have a much broader and wider variety of articles that you can search within. And usually the library's database is the last place I go when I'm working on a research project. After I've used Google and I've gotten a fairly general idea of the topic that I'm interested in, after I've used Wikipedia and I've kind of been able to pull out some key search terms or some overarching issues that I'm interested in learning more about as far as my topic is concerned. And after I've used Google Scholar, it's just, I don't know, it's a personal preference for me. When you use the library's database, though, you want to make sure that after you've entered your search term, you go here to the left and you click on full text. You check this box to make sure that all the articles that the search yields are complete articles and not just abstracts or previews of articles. And you want to click Scholarly Peer Review to make sure that all the articles that are pulled up are from scholarly journals and sources. And you can play with the search terms, and you can find a lot of different resources using the library's database. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below the video, and we'd love to hear what you think. Good luck with research.